What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pleasure Explosion. What episode are we up to, guys?
54.
54. Wow. That's I got nothing. I got no significance of 54, but I guess it's a year and 2 weeks. Right? So fantastic. I'm Jono Peck and I am joined by Ashley Hobley.
Hello.
The host of What Are You Watching Now? And Ciaran Marchant. Oh.
What are you watching?
What are you watching now? Sorry. Host of What Do You Want to Watch, which is available on explosionnetwork.com.
That might be a good segment name, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are you watching now? And the host of another show, which is called Early Late Nights, Ciaran Marchant. How you doing?
I'm really great. Thank you very much.
And you can watch that show on twitch.tv/Explosion Network every Friday, right?
Exactly.
Friday nights?
Tuesday and Fridays.
Ooh.
Tuesday and Friday night, 6:30. 2 times a week.
Slow down. Getting crazy.
I know. It's going to fucking, it's crazy. It's all over the place. There's lots of work to be done. You know, we just make it all work for ourselves, but it's going to be fun. And then if you can't watch it on Twitch, it's going to be on podcast services the next day as well.
Fantastic. So that'll also be on explosionnetwork.com, I assume, as well as the podcast services. How many episodes of this show have you done now, Ciaran? Is this the third?
This is like my second, I think.
Right.
Wait, third.
Second or third?
I think. Well, we did one. We did one at PAX. We did one at.
PAX. So sorry, third.
We did one at Extra Life.
Oh, is it 4?
Because we did Extra Life and PAX, and then I feel like
so that's
one.
4. Yeah, I've done one other one. I know. I can remember like one sat at a desk at home, and then for some reason my brain didn't process the other 2.
Sure.
Because I wasn't sat at my desk at home.
Well, here we are. We've been decimated by circumstances today. I think.
Just the world. The world is against us.
Nick's lost power.
Yeah.
Jack's having family time.
I'm
not sure what's Dylan up to. Cooking.
Dylan's doing lots of work on our website and stuck doing all the work I'm forcing him to do today, even though we came all the way to hang out with him. I'm like, nah, man. I locked him in a room. He's working. He's editing.
So Dylan's putting in work. Tom is walking the dog, we think. We're not really sure.
Yeah.
Who really knows?
He's not going to walk himself.
He's not going to walk himself.
Right.
He's not going to be right here, right now, you know? Like, between the dog and his friends and the podcast, he chooses the dog, and that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I would too.
Pick the dog over you guys as well.
Can we talk for a quick second? And warning people, I don't want you to go to Twitter looking for this, but Dylan warned me about the picture and the image that Jack put in our chat. He's like, if you don't want to look at it, don't look. It's bad. And I was like, okay. I dodged that. I then went to Twitter, and it's on Twitter, and I cry.
What's the picture of Ciaran?
The picture is of Jackson William, but with obviously he's got bored when he's had a nap, or I don't know the full story because I avoided it like the plague.
I don't know if anybody knows the full story.
There's just crap everywhere.
It's just
don't look for it, audience members.
A picture tells 1,000 words. That's what.
Literal crap, yeah.
Not chocolate mousse.
Not just toys and stuff. But, yeah.
Like, it just came out of nowhere in my life, and I don't know how I feel about it.
You don't know how you feel about it.
I don't know how I feel. I'm just
badly.
I was just in between doing stuff because this morning we decimated my house pretty much yesterday, setting stuff up for the Year 2 stream. We moved half my furniture into this small room, and then today I was like, I'm gonna unplug my computer and my setup completely and move it because I plan hopefully the next week I'll have my green screen and my lighting system set up, and I need space for that. But God, I think I started doing it at 11, and I looked at, Dylan's like, hey, do you want to go grab some lunch? I'm like, oh, is it lunchtime already? And it's 20 to 2. I'm like, oh, shit, it's past lunchtime. Why do cables exist, guys? Why didn't somebody invent a better way than cables?
I think they're working on that.
Probably.
I'm
sure in no time everything will be cableless, and then it won't work, and you'll be like, why the hell don't I have
And then
cables?
It won't work. Yeah. It won't work. It'll be like, nah, you need to line up perfectly so there's a view between the point A and point B or some crap. No.
Man, it'll be funny if we look back and just remark I remember when we had cables everywhere? That was crazy. And kids will be like, what's a cable? And
It's just there's so
It's
much
like
stuff like
Ethernet
that. Like today, I
cords.
was watching another podcast, and they had a disposable camera on the podcast, and I haven't thought about disposable cameras in so long. You know, like the crappy ones you buy where you have to like wind
Yeah.
them up
Yeah.
between shots.
I was talking about those the other day. I think we were talking about like the teacher that sent the nudes to the student, right? And I said, well, when we were kids, it was you only had you had to get your photos developed at the pharmacy, so it wasn't really a thing.
Oh, I'm sure it was a thing. It's just that
Well, it
the
wasn't.
pharmacy people had
Yeah,
sworn to secrecy.
I wonder what the things you would see. The things you would see as like a photo developer is, you know, because you have to look at them, right, to make sure that you've
Developed them correctly. Yeah.
made them properly. Yeah, developed them properly. You'd have to. There's somebody would be out there with ridiculous stories about, you know, dick pics they've seen because of it. Like,
have you guys seen 1 Hour Photo, the Robin Williams movie?
No.
I have not.
I think it's a similar kind of. I haven't actually seen it myself, but from what I gather,
Let's speculate about this movie we haven't seen.
yeah. From what I gather, he's like a creepy pharmacy guy. Like develops photos, but he like uses that to stalk people. Yeah. So
Like you would.
Use it to...
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense, because you'd be able to do the math, like if they took a picture of their house and stuff, and their kids, and you'd be able to find out where they live.
Yeah, but even just like following their lives through the photos and then getting attached
Yeah.
to them and letting it
Yeah.
go from that to something more sinister. Yeah, it's one of those I can be dramatic Robin Williams movies. You know?
He does those, like, well, like, I enjoy that Robin Williams movies can be separated into, like, you know, Robin Williams being funny, dramatic Robin Williams movies, Jumanji. It's like...
Yeah. There's
Jumanji is
like,
its own category?
There's 4. I would say there's like 4 categories. There's like Robin Williams being silly, which is like your flubber and your,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. And then you have the kind of ones with a bit of heart to them. So your Mrs. Doubtfire and your Hook and your Patch Adams,
Yeah.
Jack, you know, those kinds of movies with a nice little message. Then you've got him being really serious. You got like the Good Will Huntings. That's another phase. That was probably my favorite Robin Williams. And then you've got him going like super dark and doing 1 Hour Photo and Death to Smoochie, which was a really weird comedy. Have you guys seen that one?
No.
He plays like a child entertainer, like a Barney the dinosaur type character who's been... I can't remember if he's replacing another one or if they're replacing him, but they're like the younger, cooler version, and it gets really dark. Yeah. I recommend that. It's got a very young Jon Stewart as the other lead character.
Ooh, interesting.
When he was an actor.
When he was an actor.
Yeah, he doesn't
when
act
he
anymore,
was
does
an
he?
actor and not. No. Jon Stewart did, because he doesn't even do his talk show anymore, does he?
No, he's
stopped doing
getting a
that
new
as
one on HBO.
Is he really? Ah. Because didn't he have...
He was doing the Daily
like
Show
one of
for
the-
like 16,
Yeah, the
17
Daily Show.
years.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he gets his own thing. I think my favorite... It's hard for me to pick a favorite Robin Williams movies because I love Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin, I couldn't see Aladdin without Robin Williams' voice.
Well, if
in
you
it.
want to see Aladdin without Robin Williams, watch the second one, which has Dan Castanella, Homer Simpson.
Yeah,
voice. It's weird.
that's true.
Or the one coming out in a couple of
Um,
years, starring Will
got
Smith.
Will
as
Smith
the
is
genie.
the genie. Like,
Will Smith's going to be good. I can kind of picture the kind of genie he'll be, and it's obviously going to be a different genie to Robin Williams, but
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be cool. Sorry, finish your thought, Ciaran.
no, it's just I like going through because like even for me, it's between Hook and Mrs. Doubtfire, just because I think they're the two movies I've watched the most.
I love Hook. Love it.
Hook is so good.
You are the pan.
So fantastic. Just like I can never. Rufio has now got a special memory in my. I always I think I've seen it or somebody named like a product after it.
There's a band called Rufio.
I can't remember what
yeah.
it is. And then every time I hear that name, I just think of Pan and Hook because
Rufio.
that movie is just
Rufio. So good.
it's so good. Like even just like the imaginary food fights after he sees it. And who would even eat that food after you've seen it? Like, once you see it, that food looks disgusting.
Yeah, it looks gross, yeah. It looks like Play-Doh.
Yeah, except it's just it's like somebody's got mashed potato and put like food dye through it as well, which it probably almost was done like that. Ash, what's your movie's perspective on Robin Williams as our new regular movie host?
Yeah, I guess key movies probably obviously Jumanji. That's the one that sticks out to me. I remember watching Toys as a kid. Have you seen that one?
I
that's
think so.
got
I can kind of remember
the black actor, the black comedian. What's his name? The big Richard Pryor, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Sinbad.
No, yeah, I think Richard Pryor was the main. Unless I'm confusing it. I didn't know Robin Williams was in that.
Yeah, and then Patch Adams, obviously, that like messed me up as a kid. I think.
Like emotionally.
Yeah, like I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for emotion.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't think it was going to go this way.
So Good Will Hunting doesn't make it into your pantheon?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to be honest and say I've never seen
Guys,
Good Will Hunting.
you can't be doing a movie podcast. Let make this your next whatever you call it.
Yeah, it's going to be
watch along because
it's going to be either that or Dead Poet Society. I need to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you haven't seen both of them, watch both of them. They're both fantastic. But the cool thing about Good Will Hunting is it's not their first movie, but it's like the breakout for Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And Casey Affleck was in that too. And so there's so much to like dig into and forecast with their careers. And I just listened to a podcast which is called The Rewatchables, and they take a movie like that from quite a while ago and they talk about how it holds up and what it meant at the time, what it means now, and the people in the film, how their careers have been affected by the trajectory it set them on. It's really interesting. But yeah, that movie, it's definitely, I think, I mean, there's been, what's the other one? It's called like the something King, the King that Robin Williams was in. Like I can't think of what it's called, but
Comedy King or something.
No, it's a serious movie. It's called like the Ocean King or something like that. But there's a couple movies that when he died, they were like, if you want to see the dramatic side of Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting, and that other one that escapes me at this particular second. But yeah, so great, so quotable. So many great scenes. I think Kevin Smith was a producer on that film or helped get it made. There was rumors out there that he actually wrote it, but it was written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And I think Harvey Weinstein came along and made it happen for them. So yeah, very very topical.
Also, Jack. I mean, that also scared me as a child. The idea of like growing old really fast. That doesn't appeal to me at all.
I remember watching that at the cinema and getting like sucked into the emotional side of that. Yeah. It's like it's what do you call like chicken soup for the soul, but for young people, for kids. So. It's like the kids version. Because I'm sure it wouldn't hold up now.
It made me realize
the kids movie.
Yeah, it made me realize for the first time I'm going to die.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This got to a point.
It's true.
And how do you feel about your imminent death, actually?
I mean, not great.
Not great?
Hold on. Spoilers for Jack. Does he die in that movie?
No, he's like 90 something and he graduates at the end.
Okay.
So I'm just not far away.
Oh, I remember, because doesn't he has to have like a walker or something, or he has to have help up onto the stage to graduate?
Yeah, he's like really old, and then he gets the back of a convertible, because that seems like something.
Okay, hypothetical then. Would you rather have that, or like the same thing that Benjamin Button has?
Ooh.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to think about this.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a hypothetical. Like, would you like to
age really quickly or age backwards?
Age really quickly or age backwards?
I think age backwards because you get a longer life.
Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you've built a family or a network of people who look after you when you're a little baby.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Even as a baby, that's interesting. Would you?
It's not that different, because when you get old, you're kind of like a baby. People have to look after you, change your nappy, feed you. Potentially. Worst case scenario.
Nah, if I need my nappy changed, put me in the ground,
Yeah.
people. Somebody do me a favor. Just fucking if I'm in a nursing home and like if you're listening right now, my future nurse, I just washing up liquid on the bathroom floors. Tell me to walk in there. I got you. My life will be easier. Your life will be easier.
Put it in that advanced health directive.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this episode on a USB stick and be like, give this to my future nurses if I put in a nursing home.
Yeah, you need to get an advanced care plan,
Yeah.
as we call it.
Oh god.
It's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
That is. I feel down now. Ashley, I don't want you to
I don't want to die either.
Don't die on me yet.
I think we've got many more years of
Yeah,
Ashley
I think we're fine.
left ahead.
Oh, good. Well, we don't need to find a new social media man.
No, not yet.
That's the number one concern.
Yeah, that is the number one concern.
I realised today, so I've decided with year 2, I'm being more social media focused.
More
with,
savvy.
Doing stuff.
Fantastic.
More savvy. But I'm not good with the hashtags and the stuff and the analyticals just yet. Because I put up a post for our new D&D show, Tales of Thalden. And I was like, I'm going to put hashtag D&D in this.
Yeah.
But
you
when I
screwed
put
up.
D&D normally, I screwed up. Because normally when I put D&D, I do D, the and symbol, and D, and another D. But because for some reason in Twitter, you can't have an and symbol in a hashtag.
No.
So I just put hashtag D, and then... and then Andy, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get the wrong clientele from this.
You know you can delete those tweets and then post them again.
Yeah. That annoys me. It annoys me about Twitter that it doesn't have an edit function. What's wrong? What's the go with that? I don't want to repost stuff. I just want to edit the small mistake I made.
I think like the best argument against it that I've ever heard, because there aren't many good arguments for it, is that a tweet can go viral. Like say someone says like some hilarious remark about Nazis, right? And you think that's hilarious. I'm gonna retweet it. Stick it up the Nazis, whatever it is, and it gets like 1,000 retweets, and then that person gets hacked, and someone goes in and edits that tweet and says like Nazis rock, and then you've retweeted someone that says Nazis rock.
Well,
yeah,
fair, but that doesn't help with Facebook. But I guess Facebook is a different platform of media. Yeah, you made some good, valid points.
But you can kind of fix that and just have a little thing that says like edited or
it'd be good if it like under 100 likes or something. You could edit it.
Or like if you haven't, that's
if it doesn't blow up.
Edit it within 5 minutes.
Yeah, once it's gone viral, you can't edit it. That's a good idea.
Hit us up.
Come on, Twitter.
I would have edited my tweet. The Rock retweeted me, and I had a typo in there, and I was so embarrassed because
oh no,
it's one of my it's one of my most popular tweets. It had like 350 retweets or something about Jumanji, to bring it full circle. And I was like, damn it! If I could just edit it, I would have a clear conscience. But alas,
have either of you seen that Jumanji?
I saw it.
It's pretty solid.
I loved it. Hannah loved it. We loved it. I recommend it.
Okay.
It's just a fun movie. Like, you don't have to think too much. It's not like you don't feel stupid watching it like you might with some of those dumb kind of movies.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't make you dumber.
Yeah, it doesn't like try too hard. Like, take for example Fast and the Furious, which I haven't seen, but from all of the criticisms, they're not intelligent movies. They're dumb fun. But some people, they think they're maybe too dumb. But I think this movie, you're going into it knowing it's Jumanji. It's about characters getting sucked into a video game. So you're not, like, expecting too much.
No.
And it delivers.
That's a fair point.
And all the cast
That's
is
a fair
super
point.
charming.
Oh, yeah.
I do need to go back and get it. Like, even, like, Jack Black playing a teenage like a teenage girl.
It's great.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Unless you really are against that kind of, like, hammy kind of performances, but it's fun. I liked it, and it doesn't play into the stereotypes as much as you think. Like, it kind of subverts them, which I always find cool in those kinds of movies. Would you agree, Ashley?
Is there a lot of Kevin Hart and Rock together? Because their movies can be like super hit and miss. Like, how many? Is this their second or third one they've done together?
They did Central Intelligence, or whatever that one's called.
Was there one between this?
I don't
and
think
that?
so.
I think they've done.
Okay.
Have they done? Yeah, they have paired up quite a bit.
because I can't remember, because I've seen them get interviewed together so much that they all kind of blend
Yeah.
together now. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Central Intelligence. I think I was a little disappointed by that movie. It was another one of those movies where I felt that I saw all the funny bits in the trailers.
Yeah.
And I'm getting over that happening with movies,
Yeah.
is where, like, you know, you watch a trailer, you think the trailer's really funny, and you're just like, yeah, I guess that's going to be all the funny bits in it.
Yeah, I'm
Which
getting good at not
sucks.
watching trailers. Like, I'll watch the teaser, or I'll watch the, you know, as soon as it's announced, and then I just won't watch it for the next 5 months until the movie's out. And by then, you've either forgotten the jokes or, you know,
Yeah,
it
good
was
way
a
to do
shorter
it.
trailer anyway. And I'm pretty sure I didn't see anything for Black Panther, not even a teaser, because I just knew
really?
that it was going to be.
I watched
cool
the
movie.
Black Panther trailer like a couple of times just because the editing in that trailer was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so good. Even with like the music where they had like cut the like different songs together, but they formed perfectly to act as one song, was really cool.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, with all the talk about how great the soundtrack was, I didn't sit there in the movie and really notice it. Like, it wasn't. I thought that it would be like kind of featured a bit more, but I guess it was just kind of a subtle backing kind of soundtrack.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm glad I appreciate it when the soundtrack fits a movie well enough that it isn't overpowering or garish for the movie. It's just, it acts as that supporting field for it. It doesn't, you know, come out of nowhere like, that's stupid. The Suicide Squad freaking
yeah.
soundtrack was just,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Like,
it's very on the nose.
and I feel so stupid about that trailer just because they freaking blinded me with Queen. And I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be really fun and really cool, and it has Queen as the music. And then,
Well, that was a problem. Apparently, everybody reacted to the trailer so good they decided to make the movie like that. That's why they've got all the different songs and stuff through the film.
Yeah, it's like the WWE entrance music movie, isn't it? It's like full of these big moments, pyrotechnics.
I'm actually pretty pumped. They've announced that they're doing a WWE event at like the MCG.
Yeah, well, they have. It's rumored. It's like
Is it rumored? I thought
think
it got announced.
they're going to sign it at WrestleMania. I think they're going to put the final
They're
details.
signing it at WrestleMania. Well, that'll be fun. They need more big events outside of the States.
Well, apparently it
in
will
my
be the
opinion,
biggest
as a-
show ever. Like, if it's like
really?
100,000 plus.
Well, they're doing that a lot lately. Anything that goes to the MCG is like the biggest shit ever. And that's the thing that confuses me is when you look at NFL
They're
stadiums,
huge.
they always look packed and they look huge. But apparently they're like their lower seating, like attendance seating. I'm going to say seating like 10 more
well,
times. Seating.
They must
They're
want more
smaller.
space.
Yeah, except for like, you know, the MCG and stuff is apparently bigger than most of them. So I don't know. It's
It
good
is.
to know.
Yeah, I think with WWE, you've got that extra floor space that could pack in thousands and thousands more as well. So
Yeah.
potentially, you could get 120,000 or something.
So you can go see the big dog, Roman Reigns.
Have you
win
been
again.
to a live WWE show, Ciaran?
Yeah, I went probably 2009 or 10.
What was that?
When was Rey Mysterio world champion? Because it was at the point where Rey Mysterio was world champion, feuding with Kane, and Alberto Del Rio first came in.
like that was
I remember
about.
seeing. I went with my dad. It was pretty cool. House shows are like the coolest thing because they're goofy as all fuck. They're just not like they don't take it as seriously as they take the TV shows
Yeah.
because they're off air and they're like they have their
There's
own
no
canon,
continuity.
quote unquote.
Yeah,
No, it's like 1 week on TV, Triple H will be feuding with somebody and then he'll be tag teaming with them at house shows.
yeah. It
Yeah.
really
It's like what?
bummed me out that I went to Global Warning, which was their
Whoa.
first Australian return since like the 80s. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was in like 2003. So that was awesome, The Rock was there, Triple H was there, I think. And Kurt Angle, who was a heel at the time, and he was my favorite wrestler, he actually came out as a babyface, and I think he wrestled against Test or Big Show. I can't remember exactly, but so he wrestled as a face, which was great because I love him. But
Yeah.
then when the DVD came out and I bought the DVD, that match wasn't on the DVD, and I'm assuming it's because he was out of character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was a face.
Yeah, and I was like, man, like it was such a good match, and because he was my favorite guy, I really wanted to rewatch it and relive it, but just wasn't there, and it bummed me out big time.
So it'll just be in your memory forever.
exactly.
only place you can get it.
Yeah. So that was at like the Etihad Stadium, and the following year I went. So that was like a SmackDown when it was like SmackDown and Raw, separate rosters. The following year, the Raw roster came and played at Rod Laver, and I went to that one as well, and that was pretty cool. Like Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels were there, but yeah, like the first one being in that huge stadium with 65, 70,000 people, pretty awesome.
The main reason I hope and I really want to go to the MCG one is because I want it to have a Titantron and shit. Like, I want it to have the big screens. And even though they don't do pyro anymore, and they fucking should, but
they probably will.
Oh well, they might.
Could get away with it.
They cut all pyro to save money.
Paul McCartney had pyro. Oh, so there's no like laws about it at least.
No, there's no laws or anything. Like it's just it's WWE cut pyro from their shows at the start of this last year to save money, even though they recorded the biggest profits that they've ever recorded.
Well,
they've
got to keep growing.
Let's suggest some alternatives to
XFL.
pyro that they could use.
Streamers.
Streamers?
Confetti cannons.
They could balloons.
Throw out a bunch of streamers.
They could drop balloons every time someone comes out.
Party poppers. Party poppers.
Party poppers.
Sparklers.
Just shoot out
Those-
confetti. What do they do at...
What are those like horn things that you blow and they like unravel and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do at the Big Bash? They have some kind of like
They have like
light
those
pyrotechnics.
the fire things.
Yeah.
They had those things at AFLX, and they had like when people scored a
Zupa.
Zupa goal, there was like 2 smoke machines like pour out of like spew smoke for a couple of seconds. That just don't even get me started on that. It's not a sports show. I won't do that to you people.
Does it feel weird? I don't watch wrestling anymore, but does it feel weird without the pyro and the cool stuff when they come out? Because some of them you must be so used to their particular entrance being a certain way.
I think I've watched enough of it in the last year that I don't need the pyro anymore, but there's some of it was really cool. And I haven't seen, there's references like, I wouldn't, the weird one was I think Goldberg didn't have pyro the last time he came in. And that was the coolest shit ever when he used to like come through the sparks and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks like he was going to go rip somebody's arm off or fucking destroy them and bury them in the middle of the mat. There's nobody at the minute who I've grown up and been like, yeah, they always have, fireworks and stuff. Like the old people used to be like, Batista had the coolest pyro and stuff because he like fired off like a machine gun with his arms and it would be like...
Even like Kurt Angle used to like point to the sky and the pyro would shoot off behind him and...
Coolest thing about pyro is that, and the coolest thing about Kurt Angle even is that his theme tune and theme music, like, it's synonymous now with people telling him that you suck and stuff, but it works for him somehow as like a baby face as well. Like he's currently a baby face and he's like, telling him to sing along and stuff. It's the same as John Cena. Cena's theme music now comes with the crowd chanting John Cena sucks and stuff like that. And it's interesting
so
how that...
Yeah.
It's so weird, especially if you watch back in 2005, 2008, where John Cena was like Superman and the biggest thing in wrestling, and everybody loved him. Everybody liked him at the time, and then there was the switch, and everybody who was like a mark and a wrestling fan started to hate on him because Big Match John with his 5 moves of death, 5 moves of doom. even.
So, do people still do the what thing every time someone talks?
Sometimes.
Every now and then, but they try not to anymore. There's a lot of stuff that they cut out in wrestling that's really annoying now, or that Vince McMahon's tried to be controlling of. There was a big thing where, and it came from actually the English independent wrestling scene, where the announcer would yell, "This match is a 1 fall," and the whole crowd would be like, "1 fall!" And like WWE changed it so there was no pause after 1 fall, so the crowd didn't have a chance to yell it and stuff.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's really annoying, and they try
one of the fun things about being there.
Yeah, and just there's like minor stuff
Yeah.
that some crowds are idiots. Like CM Punk chants haven't died yet, and that's
They're pretty rare though.
gone.
What are his? Oh, you mean
Yeah,
the crowd's
well, every time
chanting?
they go to Chicago.
What's the backstory with that?
Because CM Punk left under dubious circumstances, and it's probably never going back to the WWE. Everybody, the crowds, especially in Chicago, chant CM Punk during random wrestling segments, which is really disruptive and annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be a sensitive thing. Man,
Even when the guy himself is like the biggest, he comes off like the biggest douchebag. Like he doesn't give a flying fuck about his wrestling fans and stuff like that. So yeah.
I still remember like the
Don't give him
first
any more
promo where the what thing started with Austin, and the first time, I'm pretty sure it was in New York, because the New York crowds were always known to like go against like the classic response that they're after. Like, so if they were heel, they would cheer, and opposites basically.
Yep.
But that was when the "you suck" thing started for Kurt Angle as well.
There's some really cool stuff. Like wrestling constant, it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys have noticed this in your circles, but in my circle, wrestling's almost becoming kind of cool again, which is good.
Yeah.
Like it's not as looked down on anymore, because it's not just WWE anymore. Like UK independent wrestling is becoming big, and New Japan Pro Wrestling is becoming really big. They just did an Australian tour, and there's lots of stuff that's coming out that's making wrestling more popular, which is really nice to see. It's interesting, that landscape now compared to a couple years ago where everything had changed, and I didn't even know about half the wrestling promotions. But
yeah, it is interesting. Like I feel like I'm definitely seeing a lot more of it on Twitter and those kinds of places, which are a good like kind of litmus test for what's popular, I think. And like,
and it's made even more famous by the fact that WWE is going out and grabbing talent from those independent shows. Grabbing talent from them and making them amazing. Like, you know, their number one merch seller is currently AJ Styles, who was like the poster boy of TNA and was in a large part of New Japan Pro Wrestling for ages. And they've got Shinsuke Nakamura, who is fucking ridiculous, and like his theme music is the coolest theme music I've ever heard in wrestling, period. Just something that gets like the whole crowd singing his tune and stuff is, and the fact that it's not even like rock music or anything, it's violin, is awesome. Like the live entrances where he does it with like the guy playing violin by himself is so, like, I'd love to be in the stadium for those things.
Yeah, we had Jack and I had Kyle Stevenson on Grandstand Gurus to talk about about like why we should give wrestling another go, and he brought up some good points about the way it's changed, and it's not enough for me to get back into it just because I know
it's a commitment.
It is such a commitment, and I feel like I would need to catch up on everything that I've missed over the last 14 years as well. But yeah, it sounds
stuff, like not as much. Like the only stuff you probably need to like, if you ever went and watched it, would be like the Shield. Probably the Shield was kind of a big thing that you kind of need, because they're like
of the last 10 years, it's probably
the Shield, to watch those three rise up together, and the three breakout stars really currently in the WWE. Just the craziness. And for me as a fan and just a viewer of everything, because I'm that much of a nerd, there's nothing that comes close to like a cool comic book moment than a wrestling pop, like a massive. I've never like felt like, I think I jumped out of the chair when I saw it, but when Matt and Jeff Hardy made their return at WrestleMania last year was the coolest shit in the world, and I was so jealous of everybody in the stadium, because it was something that nobody knew was going to happen. You know, it'd been speculated, but everyone was like, nah, they're never going back.
Yeah, because they'd won titles somewhere else the night before, wasn't it? Isn't that the
They
story?
were in a ladder match for a different company the night before, and then they came and did a ladder match at WrestleMania the next day.
How did we get from Robin Williams to wrestling?
I don't know. This has been a good. I enjoy the walkabouts of Pleasure Explosion.
It was such a seamless transition. Like, I don't even
know
what the turning point was.
You go scenically from wrestling. We'll now go to pottery. What, has anybody bought any nice mugs lately?
No. Sorry.
Oh.
We've got too many mugs.
I have something
Too many
that
mugs.
I wanted to talk about. We don't do topics anymore, but I did have something I wanted to ask you guys about, which is smashing stuff.
Yeah.
Smashing stuff.
So, when I was, and you can file this under like teenage hobbies, weird teenage hobbies.
Right. Did you go buy things and smash them?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Throw them on the ground.
Usually, it was really like basically free stuff from like, okay, so my school fete, you know, there would be a white elephant stall. You could go and buy useless crap, basically, that people didn't want. Junk, op shop stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the fete, if they hadn't got rid of something, you could just take it. So I remember taking like a printer, like a computer printer home, and we didn't need it. And I think I don't even know if it worked. But me and my brother were just like, let's smash it. So we got like a sledgehammer in the backyard and just took to it with the sledgehammer. And it was awesome because like eventually once you broke through, I guess we hit like the toner cartridge, a big black cloud of like ink would just like rise from it like a mushroom cloud. And I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So that's what happens if you smash a printer. Did you guys ever smash stuff? Because I think it's like a primal like testosterone thing. You know, men make up the majority of pyromaniacs, and I think we just like seeing buildings get demolished and you know, when they detonate like a stadium and it just like collapses. There's heaps of cool videos of that kind of thing online, and I don't know, what is it about smashing stuff that is so awesome? Or am I alone?
It's satisfying.
Yeah.
I think it's satisfying. When I think of Ashley Hobley, I think destruction.
Yeah, I do too.
Pure destruction, like unbridled rage, and how he would just rip apart stuff with his bare hands. Take it away, Ashley, with your stories.
I haven't got any stories. Only time I can think of is like smashing stuff, and you feel fine about it is like you go to the tip, and you like getting rid of all your useless junk. You just want to throw it as far as possible and see it smash into something and like scatter into a billion pieces.
Give me some examples. What are you throwing? Like pottery,
like
and
old
glasses.
Keyboards and like the old school monitors. Like, didn't need that anymore.
Mate, I have smashed both of those things, and I can tell you, keyboards are fun because the keys just fly off.
Yeah.
You know? And a computer monitor, I remember me and my friends taking a computer monitor to this old like woolen mill, which was shut down, and it was just basically an empty factory. And there's stairs on the exterior. We walk up the stairs and just throw it from like 5 meters in the air, I guess.
Yeah.
And then looking at like the destruction below, the screens back then were like 2 inches thick. Green, that kind of black green, like glass. I never expected it to be that thick. That's my takeaway from smashing a computer. Ciaran, you don't have brothers, do you?
No, I have an older sister, but yeah, other than I was only child. I think I've smashed computers.
Yeah.
I've smashed several computers.
What kind and under what circumstances?
Different things. Like we smashed one at work a while ago because we didn't know what else to do with it, so we just smashed it. Like it was not. It was not.
All I needed was the USB plug changed.
No, it was dead. It was dead. We didn't have a pneumatic drill to drill through the hard drive with. We didn't want to do anything else, so we just went and destroyed it. Like we just went into the car park and smashed the living crap out of it.
With what?
You know what? Speaking of smashing things, the most satisfying thing happened on the launch of the PlayStation 3. And at this time, I was at the height of my Sony fanboyism. And I remember watching this video this website put up. This website, for some reason, raised money for a PS3. And they waited in line at like the one of the biggest stores in New York, and they were like second or third in line. They bought a PS3. They took it out in front of the line of everybody else waiting for their PS3s, and then took a sledgehammer to the PS3. Like, just smashed the all-living crap out of the PS3 in front of all of these people waiting for it, which is a waste.
Yes.
But incredibly amusing.
Forgive them. Forgive them, Shuhei, for they know not what they have done.
Just the faces of just utter horror on the people lining up for their console.
It reminds me of like when the new iPhone comes out, whatever. There's always the first person to put up like a smash video,
smash tests, and
the smash test. Like how high can you drop it from without breaking, or whatever.
Or when
it
the XL or whatever it was first came out, and people go around to Apple stores and see if it bends or not.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
So, Ciaran, how did it feel to smash that computer at work?
Feels good.
Yeah.
Why
does it feel good?
It's interesting
Why does
to
it feel
see
so good?
what's on the inside of things.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
like the inside of a hard drive. What does that look like in pieces? Or the inside of a graphics card. Oh, that's really cool. Like,
I mean, you could open up the computer and have a look, but
no, but it's not the same. It's like, you know,
the inside of
too
the
pristine.
inside. Yeah.
You just need to smash the shit out of it. Just, you know, give it the old one. Has anybody ever wanted to like take like a sledgehammer to a car, like just to literally go buy like the old beater car that's just trashed, it's at its day.
Yeah.
Just go take, like, even have like, you know, a collection of utensils to use. You know, like a baseball bat, a sledgehammer.
Those
you
aren't
might go
utensils.
something interesting. They're utensils for smashing.
I just imagine you going into town on a car with a fork or a spork.
I could.
Yeah.
I could do
See, I
that.
have the curiosity of like how many goes does it take to smash a windshield like with a hammer? Like would it take a couple or would it be more like 10, 20? Because I've seen people struggle with that before and I often wonder like, is it the car? Is it the hammer? Is it the person? How many takes would it take me?
It's like there's the segment in the old Top Gear back when it was good where they tried to destroy that Toyota Hilux. Like they spent like 12 weeks in a row, like they dropped it off a building.
Oh, that was great.
Like they dropped it off a building, they left it in like a rising tide. They did so much shit to that thing, and it just even with I think apparently they only had like basic tools to be able to get it to restart, and they couldn't replace any parts or anything, and it restarted every time. But it looked like absolute shit by the end of it. Like it looked so bad. Just breaking stuff in general. There's a temptation to it. There's like you're
not meant to do it. Yeah.
You're not meant to do it, but.
It feels good.
Not breaking it, but you're back with what you're saying about people, doing the brake tests with their phones. The moment I heard the new iPhone was waterproof, after I got mine, I dropped it in my dad's fish tank. Because I was like, look at this. Yeah, on purpose. I was like, what's the largest body of water? And I went and dropped it in the fish tank.
What if it hadn't worked? It turns out it was faulty.
Exactly. If it was faulty, I was screwed and we were having fish for dinner that night. But it worked fine.
I didn't even thought of that.
I'm also like the only person who I wash my phone under a tap now. Like I'll take it out of its case, it gets a bit grungy under its case, and I'll literally just turn the tap on and just hold my phone under the tap. It's the best.
You're insane.
It's a good feature.
Yeah, no.
It's a good feature.
I think there's like
people look at me like I'm crazy when I do it, and I'm like, I don't know.
I think
it's water resistant.
I think it's like a therapeutic thing too to smash stuff. I don't know what it is, but like that the scene in Office Space. Have you seen that movie where they take the printer or the photocopier out into like the middle of nowhere and they just go to town on it? And it's just like, how many times have you been trying to photocopy something or print something in an office and it's like, what is wrong with this thing? I've already checked the paper tray. It's full. It's not dislodged. What's going on? Error 3. What's error 3? I just want to smash this thing.
Even just, there's something, you don't even have to be doing it yourself. There's something about watching something get trashed that is incredibly satisfying. Like, there's that that whole YouTube channel dedicated to...
Will It Blend?
Like putting...
Oh, Will It Blend? That's so good.
Or,
yes.
Will It Blend? Or, like the one with the press. With the... where it just like compresses
like
stuff and smash... With the vice, like,
awesome.
It's not... You're not doing it yourself, but there's something incredibly satisfying that they can go out and do. Even things within your... Like, not in your wildest dreams. Like, I have a beautiful TV set up there, like a 4K TV, that I would never smash, but I'd love to watch somebody else smash one just to be like...
That's what it looks like.
I smashed the TV once.
This is what would happen.
There was one time I was like walking around a lake and there was just this random TV there. I was like, this shouldn't be here. This is not a lounge.
This shouldn't be
here.
Taking out the trash.
This is not a lounge room. This is... And there was like no one around.
PowerPoints?
So the people I was with, we were like, let's smash it. So we just like took this massive rock and just threw it in the middle of the... It was probably like a 40-inch like plasma, and it wouldn't have worked because why else would they dump it there? And we just smashed it. I mean, that's probably not the environmentally responsible thing to do, but...
20 ducks died because you just smashed the TV.
Maybe.
Have you ever been disappointed, like you've tried to break something and it just didn't break? Like,
It's very unsatisfying.
It's so unsatisfying. You're trying to snap like a bit of plastic and it just won't fucking snap. Yeah. It just won't break, and you just look like an idiot because you're like...
Or like a bottle or something. Like you have I don't know if it might be a similar situation to what Ash was saying at the tip or whatever, but you might have a bottle and you're like, I'm going to smash this bottle, and you throw it against the wall and it just like bounces off.
Yeah, bounces off and you're like, fucking hell, if that was a Coke bottle and I dropped it in the floor in the kitchen by accident, it would have smashed everywhere.
It reminds me of like those scenes, I don't know if it's like real life or movies, it's just merging in my head, but when someone hits someone in the head with like a a glass bottle and they just expect it to break, but it doesn't. It's just painful.
No, because real
Just
glass
blunt.
doesn't do
Yeah.
that.
Blunt trauma.
It's just,
Yeah. It's just very, very painful.
in a bar fight, is the bottle the weapon of choice, or do you grab a stool, or
I
Pool
think the
cue.
stool
cue.
is... Yeah, the
Pool
stool's
cue.
easier to deflect before it impacts, I think.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The glass...
Pool cue is a good
Because
one.
the weapon of
You got
choice...
The distance.
The weapon of choice
range.
for me, like, if I was to be, writing or directing this scene, the coolest thing is to take the bottle, smash it on the end of the bar, that old power move, and just kind of hold it up like I'm ready to go.
But like,
I'm
what
nuts.
if it doesn't smash like perfectly?
It wouldn't.
What if
It
you
would just
awkwardly
cut your
smash it
hand.
against the bar?
It would just
All
like
the glass
You
gets
smash against the bar.
rips your arm
You've got
open.
like shards of glass and like just like the smallest section of the bottle left,
Yeah.
like not even with pointy
It
bits.
would just be like the neck, and it would be like the most blunt part of the neck, and,
Yeah.
and broken glass all over your wrist. Yeah, that's what would
No,
happen.
it's like covered in condensation, so when you hit it, it just slips out of your hand and rolls on the other side of the bar.
Oh, man. And I think this whole thing extends for me to like video games. I love destructible environments, and I will just spend time sometimes. You know how you just play with the environment and see what it will allow you to do. If there's like a building that can be blown up, I'll always like blow it up. And if I'm driving a car in GTA, the first time I'm playing, I'm like, I wonder what the damage looks like. I wonder how realistic it is. And kind of now I'm so used to it that, games have so much realism that you just take it for granted. But I remember like the first time playing, it might have been GTA 4, and I was like, wow, I just scraped against that car, and there's now a scrape mark along the side, or my headlights smashed where I would hit that car before, and just like throttling the car until it was just basically nothing left. Such a good feeling.
It was just, I remember in the original Red Faction on PS2, you could like in multiplayer maps, you could use a rocket launcher and make tunnels.
Yeah, you could go
in
through walls and stuff, yeah.
You could just tunnel through walls. And so literally we'd start up a multiplayer map with like infinite time, limited ammo on rocket launchers, and we wouldn't fight each other. We'd literally just make mining tunnels. Like we'd just mine our way around the map.
The
And
original Minecraft.
Yeah.
yeah, it was Minecraft, but even with that, Minecraft, there's nothing as satisfying as putting a piece of TNT in somebody else's house. Or just like the series of just diabolical acts you could do in that game, or you place a piece of TNT somewhere they'll eventually like step into or like break, and it just destroys the entire house.
No, I don't find that satisfying at all.
I'm going to clip out that part of Ciaran saying there's nothing more satisfying than putting dynamite in someone's house.
Yeah. Cut that out.
Well, you could do that.
Send it to
Put it in somebody's
send
house.
it to ASIO.
Because they're not checking us enough, as it is.
Yeah.
No, we're already called the Explosion Network. Let's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
Let's not. You know.
And I'll be like, there's this guy on the internet, calls himself the, Explosion King or whatever. he's part of the Explosion Network, and he's just talked about how much he loves putting dynamite in people's houses. So
It's a bit too on the nose, though, don't you
Yeah.
think? Like, what real... Like, they've got to be a bit of common
Be
sense.
like,
They'd be like,
no, criminals are dumb.
No.
Criminals will be brazen, and they'll do these kinds of things.
no.
It's like a gang being called the Bank Robbers. I mean,
That's a great name for a gang.
No, the Wet Bandits, man. That's what you need to be. The Wet Bandits.
Sticky Bandits.
Sticky Bandits.
Yeah, I'm more of a Home Alone 2 guy.
Yeah.
Really? No, Home Alone 1's where it's at.
Two's better.
Yeah, I'm with you,
2
Ash.
has Donald Trump
One,
in
know
it.
it's
if
in
it's
New
like-
York. That's a
Yeah,
start.
that's the thing for me, I think, is I love New York, and I always have found it really cool setting. And that one, yeah, it makes so much less sense because, a 10-year-old in New York versus a kid staying at home. Yeah, but hey, it's got Donald Trump in it.
Does.
It's got that going for it.
Also, freaking little Calvin does not seem like
Kevin.
the athletic type.
Kevin?
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin.
Is it Kevin? Where am I thinking Calvin from?
Calvin Hobbes.
I don't know. Probably not. There's another movie with Calvin. Kevin doesn't seem like the athletic type, But in Home Alone 2, he climbs a rope down like a 3 or 4 story building.
That's true.
And I'm like,
And he climbs up that slide as well.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, no.
It was rippled,
Yeah.
It's really-
was rippled.
No.
I was just like, no, this can't be a thing. This is not,
No.
He didn't.
My
use that
favorite
to get
scene from
down.
that movie is when he's thrown. He thinks
bricks.
the robbers think he's throwing down the camera, but he's throwing a brick
Yeah.
every time,
7 bricks.
straight to the face.
There's a to bring this full circle again. The second Mick Foley book, which is called Foley is Good, has like a whole section of it dedicated to like defending the business of wrestling against like the Parents TV Council or whatever it's called that's complaining about violence, and he compares the violence in Home Alone movies and other kinds of kids movies to the violence in wrestling, and saying like, well, why is it okay for Home Alone to throw 7 bricks at someone from a 5-story building, but a chair shot or a garbage can that crinkles in someone's head is teaching our kids violence? These people who are in a wrestling ring.
He's like the worst person to defend wrestling in that kind of forum. He is not the right person to do it. The man that accidentally jumped through some ropes or like had to do a suicide dive through some ropes, but the ropes were done too tightly, got his ear caught and ripped off half of his ear.
Well, he was doing a hangman move where he would...
Oh, he was doing the hangman, that's
right. He would
right.
twist the rope, and yeah, because they were in Germany, it was far tighter than he was used to. I mean, I think it was more a defense of the impact that it has on children and that kind of thing. And he was a father at the time, and I guess he took it personally. But yeah, it was an interesting book. If you have a chance to read either of Mick Foley's books, I would recommend, especially the first one. So good. He's got a photographic memory, and he's had so many wild experiences. Despite the concussions, he seems to remember every conversation he's ever had.
He's like the most old, haggard man you've ever seen. His hair and his just beard, and he's just Mick, stop. Why you put yourself through this?
Well,
he's not.
Some of his older
anymore,
matches
though.
were hard to watch. Some of his, because he went to TNA at one point, some of that stuff's hard to watch.
When did he go there? Was he still wrestling, or was he just...
Yeah, he was still wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah, he went to TNA, I can't remember when. It was like just after he left WWE.
Obviously.
He went to TNA with Ric Flair and stuff.
That's funny.
And it was just...
I thought he'd
It's
retired.
the same thing as,
I guess he's probably retired a bunch of times.
Yeah, Rick ruining his retirement by going to TNA.
Well, there you go. Ciaran, where can people get more of your hot takes on wrestling?
People can get more of my hot takes on wrestling and Explosion Pod at your boy Ringo. That's my Twitter.
Yeah.
You can come direct to the source at your boy Ringo, or come ask me while I'm streaming at twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Do you want to give a quick plug to the new shows you'll be working on?
Yeah, definitely. So this week we just announced Early Late Nights, which is the Philip DeFranco Show meets gaming. So 6:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday Australian Standard Time.
Daylight savings time.
We will. What is it?
Not for long. Not for long.
I know, right? You can catch me talk about all things gaming with gaming news, esports wrap-ups, weekly debates, and different topics every Tuesday and Friday. And also check out our new Dungeons & Dragons podcast called The Tales of Theldon, which is based on a universe that I've written with an adventure with Ashley, Dylan, and Tom that I am absolutely in love with and very proud of us doing.
Very good, very good. Ashley.
You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley. ASHLEY. It's a thing.
Did you forget your?
I
did
forgot
you
the
forget
thing.
them?
I forgot the thing.
You stopped. What?
Pregnant pause. Yeah.
It sounded like you forgot. So, plug your stuff.
So I've got a show called What Do You Want to Watch, where we talk about film, TV, online content. So episode 1 is available now. Episode 2 will be launching 16th of March. Will be a Friday for Australia. Yeah.
Very, very good. And what else? So, you can catch me on Twitter at Jono himself. This is the last episode of this show that I'll be hosting, because I believe we're flicking over to a format
In which
where Tom's going to be the regular host. And that's to coincide with Jack and I stepping away from the Explosion Network, which was covered last week when Jack was hosting briefly. And there's a statement we've put out about that, and we've gone into that quite a bit in past content. Yeah. If you want Jack and I's heartfelt goodbye, the end of our Twitch stream yesterday was probably where we said what needed to be said, and I think that probably summed it up for us.
We
But
should
yeah,
probably
so
cut that out.
yeah, maybe we'll clip that out and chuck that up. That sounds like a job for the social media manager.
Yeah.
Or the Twitch manager.
Yeah, one of those two people.
Maybe they can work together on that. So yeah, I mean, I'll be continuing to do putting in work, which has been really well received lately with some of the guests I've had.
Huge guests.
Yeah, it's been a good month for me with Colin and Aiko, the Rain Man, and I've got some really exciting guests coming up if things fall into place. So look forward to that. Jack obviously is doing his thing over with It Is What It Is on the 8-Bit Network, and yeah, it's exciting stuff all around. So explosionnetwork.com, enjoy all that good stuff. Hit us up on socials. Don't be a stranger. And until then, goodbye, my friends.
Peace out.
Bye.